Day 27. What do I start with? I don't know. I never know what I'm going to start with, ever. I never plan what I'm going to say. And in that space, there's always, always, always something to say. It always just starts coming through whenever you don't plan it, whenever you don't try, whenever you don't give any effort to it, whenever you don't go, how do I do this? Here's questions that will stifle you always. How do I do this? It's going to stifle you. If you're doing something creative, if you have an actual problem that you want to overcome, like we're locked out of the house, how do we do this? Okay, let's get a coat hanger and, get on our friend's shoulders and climb the fence. I get it. But how only shows up when you're fixing a problem. And when you don't see a problem and you ask how, that still means there's a problem. So what do I do is another one. These are stifling questions. How do I do this? What do I do? If you're asking these questions, you're saying you are going to do it, not that something else through you is going to do it. So those questions are kind of out of my sight. They haven't been questions that I've asked for a long time now. And the only time they do show up is if I'm in a leap, if I felt the calling and I said yes to it. So when I start these videos, I don't ever think, what should I talk about? And when I do, I get totally stifled. If I think, how am I going to do this? I get stifled. If I think, what do? I get stifled. The first thing has to be willingness to fall on your face. The first thing has to be a willingness to do it wrong. The first thing has to be no needing it to be perfect, and just starting and really letting yourself fall thousands of times while you're starting. I'm working on a book right now with my buddy Dan, and we're making this thing, and we always create from a place of it'll keep unfolding. In other words, everything we write is never the final thing. We just go, what does my heart want to add? Okay, add this to the book, add this to the book, add this to take this out. Okay, add this. And all the time, all we're doing is listening to what it says to do in the next moment. So when you're doing something exciting and creative, just keep listening to what the next moment wants, because the next moment's going to do something that you think is irrelevant to your big picture dream, but is actually the exact next thing you need to do. To give you an example, I've been stepping into this more of myselfness and really wanting to move into doing bigger theaters, bigger videos, bigger arenas, whatever. And I'm like, okay, let's see, what do I do? And that was a very stifling question, right? So I just listen to my body, and my body will be like, clean your house. Now that sounds completely non-related to the goals that I have. Like that has anything to do with it. Your mind would go, well, that's not related to this. And I started cleaning. And first of all, I started letting go of stuff that I didn't need anymore. And in that place, I started making space in my heart for new ideas. I just noticed this thing that I had held on to, like this shirt I've had for 10 years, or this is a suit coat that I shot in a video, and I only held it because I had it in a video that I shot years ago. Okay, well, it's very sentimental to me from that. So I'm going to use this as a way to block myself from my real empty space that I can open up and really create from a higher place. So I take these things and I go, okay, it feels heavy to hold on to it, even though it feels good and comforting. It still isn't the highest use of this. This suit could be on someone else that could really use it. This shirt could be on someone else that could use it. So I'm gonna let go of it. And in doing that, I started feeling myself getting excited about letting go of other things. And then I went into a closet and I found an old poster of me from my Comedy Central years. And it's a poster from my #1 Comedy Central special that's 10 years old now. And I just looked at this thing and I was like, what if I threw this out? Now, it's so something that you would think you would never throw that out. That's your one thing that you had. That's this one accomplishment, this thing, this story of me, of a time when I achieved something so great. And it's a great identity that I can hold on to get love. I can tell people, yeah, I was a Comedy Central comic. I was this guy that had a #1 Comedy Central special. Here's my poster. And I could use it to get love, and I could use it to feel like I'm worth something in a false way, and have this false identity because I think who I am is my old accomplishments. So I said, I'm going to let go of this. And my goodness, I walked to a garbage can and I just let it go into the garbage can. And when I walked back, I was now a space that was even bigger than the dude that had that #1 Comedy Central special. I was someone else. I was someone even more. Because when you hold on to an old identity that thinks who you are is your old accomplishments, is your body, is the person you're dating, is, whatever, your amount of money that you have, is your sports car. If you think that's who you are, then as Wayne Dyer says, then when it goes away, you go away too. So I had no idea that when I learned that when I go cleaning, that I'd make a space that would be more creative, because right after I let go of that, all of this knowing came through that was better, and really funny sketch ideas, all kinds of different things started showing up out of nowhere. And all I had to do was this thing that seemed like a small thing. You wouldn't think cleaning would have anything to do with your dream, but it does. This morning I was having a salad, and I was in this place of, do I pick salad or do I pick this Eggs Benedict thing? And the salad felt lighter, but my old ego wanted the Eggs Benedict. Now this might sound petty, but when I said, I feel lighter here, I'm picking this, I immediately grew. I felt this connection to myself. I felt all this knowing that said, I'm going to listen to the lightness more than what my old ego wants. And when you start listening to the things that make you feel lighter, and you go with them, you start to realize you're aligning yourself with your soul, and you're getting higher creative ideas. You're getting more drive. You're getting more reason to be on this planet. You're getting more of a calling. And that's what happened to me. I'm sitting here in bliss because I chose the salad, and it's not about the salad. It's that I listened to what feels lighter and then got permission and proof that that was the right decision, because I started feeling really good and getting pulled even more into my vision. So these little decisions you make that you think aren't a big deal are the biggest deal. They are involved with people in the future getting help from you. They are involved with you being in your service. And you think that this little decision of, do I throw this little, old pair of shorts out? These things that feel lighter but we ignore are all part of the big picture, are all part of a sign towards what you're really here to do. So instead of saying, what do I do, and ignoring all the little lighting, things that make you feel lighter and all the little callings, instead just go, what feels lighter right now? And if you can't come up with anything, there's a famous quote, if you don't know what to do, do nothing. Sit on the bed, do nothing, close your eyes, whatever, and watch as something goes. Book a flight to another country right now. Start writing. Just do the next thing. I'll just tell you the next thing. And that's it. You don't get to know more until you do the next thing. But when you do the thing that calls to you, no matter how small it seems, you will start to meet yourself more, and you will start to train yourself how to listen to the calling more than the old story. And the more you listen to the calling, the more it's going to guide you to an incredible amount of you impacting the world and getting a massive amount of abundance in return. And you will probably feel called, it feels light to donate half of this money. It feels light to give to charity. It feels light to circulate this. You don't know what's going to happen. But that's why life is so fun. If you move from thing to thing versus trying to see the entire picture of what you should do, then you will realize you are co-creating on your edge in your heart. And the world will blow your mind because you won't have any expectations of how things should be anymore. And as my friend Lisa Cairns says, when you have no expectations, life always delivers. And when you move from your heart, you will be blown away by how many things try to come right at you that you weren't looking for. And that's why it'll be so exciting. And life will move so much exponentially faster. So I'm glad I had no idea what to say before this, because I'm all inspired by what came through and I'm excited. But the first thing I had to do is not need to know what to do, and instead just know all I need to do is start and just start talking, and it'll come through. So day 27.